Buying a property in Germany might look complicated, especially when you hit the system, notary, financing, tax, tenant laws. Most people get lost before the deal even starts. I've been through this process 3 times in the last 3 years. In this video, I walk you through how it really works, step by step, what the costly mistake to avoid, and what to expect. Welcome to Imo by Femi. If you want to invest in Germany with clarity as an expert, subscribe. Let's start. What I'm sharing with you right now is my reality, the knowledge that I got from my experience during the last 3 years. The first thing that you need to do is to know your household finance situation. Make sure that this household finance is positive. It means that you earn more than you spend every month. Then, it advised to have 2,000 to 2,005 euros netto every month to start thinking about investing in real estate in Germany. Before you open any real estate platform, you need to do one thing: know your borrowing capacity. You need to know how much a bank will be ready to lend to you. This can be very variable. It depends on so many factors. So you have to clarify that and make sure that you know this maximum amount. You go to a financial advisor, finance berater. You could also go to a bank, but I think as a beginner, it's better to go to a finance berater. It's easier. They check many banks, and they know how those banks react. You could check with many different finance berater, but get your document ready, your pay slips, your ID, the type of visa you have if you are not German yet. You need also to know your Schufa. Remember, the new Schufa is out, so you need to know exactly where you're standing in the ranking. If you don't do that, you'll be wasting time on property that you cannot afford. You need to know where, in which range you are looking for at the maximum. I will personally not try to buy at the maximum of my borrowing capacity. So you need to know where this maximum is, right? This is the starting point. Everything else is coming afterwards. Once you have done all this homework, you can start looking for the property within your range on the real estate platform. And for this, I have few tips. As a first property, I would not go for apartment more than 1 hour away from where I live because you are still learning, and the goal is to be quickly on site to see if there's something that you need to do and react promptly. So within this 1 hour radius around where you live, you check on the rental platform and you see how many property they are to be rented, where they are located, and how long they stay online, and how much they cost, of course. Remember, you are looking for an asset. You're looking for an investment bringing some return. Don't fall for the attractive properties. Don't fall for the hype areas. Stick to the numbers. Then you define your target tenant. Are you renting to students because there are some university in the area? Are you renting to young professionals because there are a lot of company in that areas, and they are mostly 1 2 bedroom apartment to be rented on the rental property and going fast? Are you renting to families because you notice that there are big apartment, 3 4 bedrooms, and those one are the one leaving very quickly the rental platform? You need to define which customers are the most in demand of which type of asset. Once this is done, you define if that's something you want to do. Do you want to rent to students? Do you want to rent to families? Do you want to rent to young professionals? Do you want to rent to workers from usually from East Europe looking for monteur room, they call it, like rooms where workers come for some month, weeks, and then go back. You have to get a feeling of the market. You have to do this deep analysis to understand the market. If you skip that, you are guessing, and guessing usually is a ruin for your cash flow. So take the time that it needed to understand the market, the micro market you are targeting. So now you have done two things. You went to the bank, you know which loan you can get, and what would be your monthly um, mortgage. On the other side, you know how much you're getting as a cold rent for a property in that area. You have now to put those two numbers in relation. Does the call rent that I get covers the interest of my loan? If you're investing, is the bare minimum. My call rent is covering my interest, bare minimum. But we want more than that. The call rent should be covering the interest and the amortization. Then it's good. The best situation that all investors are looking for when we are starting to invest is that your call rent covers the interest, the amortization, and you even have a small puffer. You have a positive cash flow. And that's what we are looking for when we start to invest. Even later, but even more when you start to invest. Because this positive cash flow is actually the fuel which will help you going forward in your investment. When you do your theoretical calculation and the deal is not good, you go for negotiation, you present your argument, and you try to reduce the price so that you fall into a situation where the cash flow is positive or at least zero. If this is not possible, you walk away. You're looking for a positive cash flow at least. So when you come that far and you have a deal that works with a positive cash flow or on zero cash flow, if you want the property, you go to the bank now. You present the object and you present yourself as the borrower. The object as an asset and you as a borrower. If, like we suggest initially, you went through the finance operator, the finance advisor, you go back to him and show him the object that you find within the range that he has helped you define at the beginning, and you give him again your actualized informations, and then it's in the hand of the bank. They are not emotional. They care about risk. They will recalculate the object. They will assess your financeability, and you get the hard financing. The first one is what they call soft financing, and the new one, the one that you have after you bring the property, is the hard financing, is the binding financing from the bank. So you have your property, you have the commitment from the bank. You go now to the notary, your notary, the notary from the seller, from the makler, from the real estate agent. My experience, it doesn't matter. Notary is notary, is neutral. Whether whoever bring him in the deal has no benefit out of it. So a notary is neutral. You ask to the notary to write the purchase contract where you can specify anything that you find relevant for you. One tip for the purchase contract is important that you split the purchase price between an amount for the ground and the rest for the building. Usually we do 20, 80, 20% of the purchase price go on the ground and 80% goes on the building. Why? It's important for the amortization, how the amortization which will help you to save money on your tax. But this is a different video. Once you have the purchase contract written by the notary, all the specific change that you have requested, and you have the approval from the bank, then you can go for the signature meeting with the seller. It seems obvious, but I will repeat it. Never sign a purchase contract without having signed before with the bank. Sign with the bank first, and then you go sign the purchase contract. Don't let anybody pressure you to go and sign the purchase contract if you haven't a binding commitment from your bank. Don't. So now you have signed the contract, and the notary is now in charge to get the property register in your name, and voila, you are the happy new owner of your first property. So, summary, let's keep it simple. First, you clarify your financial situation, you ensure your financeability, you look for a deal that you calculate and verify that is cash flow positive or neutral at worst. You sign, you present to the bank and get the binding commitment from them to finance you. So you sign that financing contract. You then go to the notary and sign the purchase contract. 5 steps in this order. Don't overlook any of them. Don't mix them. 5 steps in this order, and you will be in a safe path to become a new owner in Germany. If you ignore this, you might be gambling, and this is risky with those kind of amounts. So stick to the rules. So hopefully you have liked this video. You have liked and learned a lot from this of our experience during the last years. This is the complete path summarized in few minutes. If you want to know more about any step, don't hesitate to post your question below. I try to answer and give my opinion based on my experience. Hopefully it will help many of you guys. Like, subscribe, share, and follow us on all our platforms, Instagram, TikTok, and here on YouTube, of course. We keep posting more and more videos around this thematic, uh, directly coming from our reality of real estate investor in Germany. Thank you, and see you in the next video.